Relax the face or the facial muscles. Forgot to mute it. Widening the space between the eyebrows. Soften the eyelids. Let the eyes move down away from the eyelids. Or move back. Relax the jaws, the tongue, the throat. And then from there, as you breathe in, we're going to do the 3 ohms together in your own time. Om. 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 As you breathe out, then bow the head down. Surrender again the brain to the heart. Release the hands to your thighs and listen to the resonance of silence. And as you breathe in, lift the head up and open the eyes. And stretch the legs forward. And crossing the legs the other way. And we are just going to come forwards. But before we do that, so have something for the head. But first interlocking the fingers. Pressing the hands in front of you and trying to mold all the mounts of the fingers to the floor. Yeah. Filling all the gaps there. Yeah, so feeling the gaps in your around the mounts of the fingers and trying to fill them. And then from there, keeping the eye of awareness in the palms as you stretch the arms forward. And as you breathe in again, stretch the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Yeah. Lengthening the sides of the body and feel as if you are still pressing the hands against the floor. So this will help you later. So really extending and trying to expand the skin of the palms from the center out to the side. And breathing. And as you exhale, then you can release. And then the other side, so interlocking the fingers the other way, the other little fingers on the bottom. Press the hands in front of you. And again, take a moment to really mold all the mounts of the fingers to the floor. And then from there, stretch the arms forward. And as you inhale, stretch the arms up. So again, lengthening the sides of the body as much as you can. And still trying to spread the palms from the center out. Yeah? Filling all those gaps around the mounts of the fingers. And as you breathe out, then you can release. And just feeling the resonance of what you have done. And then we come forward. So as you inhale, stretch the arms forward again. This time have the palms facing each other. As you inhale, stretch the arms up. Extend and lengthen up. And then from there, come forward from the hips. Go halfway, extending through the tips of the fingers. Be heavy in the sit bones. And then bring your hands down. And then as you pull the fingers towards you, lengthen, creating space in the chest. And then from there, sliding the hands forward more and taking the head down. On whatever height that you have. So if you have something. So using this time to prepare yourself for the class, preparing the mind to be present. So allow the front brain to recede towards the back brain, the eyes deep into the eye sockets. And softening around the hips, the buttocks. And as you inhale, coming back to center. Take your knees up, stretch the legs forward. And we'll cross the legs the other way. And one more time, coming forwards. This time, stretch the arms forward with the palms down. As you inhale, stretch the arms up to the ceiling, lengthening the sides of the body. And this time the stretch feels different. If you can be sensitive, there's a stretch deep in the abdomen behind all the abdominal organs. And then with that, start to reach forward, go halfway, but lengthen all the way through the tips of the fingers. Be heavy in the buttocks at the same time. Stay there for a moment. From there, then take your hands down, pulling the fingers towards you to create space in the chest. And then from there, sliding the hands forward and taking the head down. And again, so as you get that support for the head, notice what that does for you. How that encourages the thinking brain to recede, the eyes to move towards the back of the eye sockets. There's a sense of softness in the hips, in the buttocks. Be with the breath, completely present with the breath. And as you inhale, then come back to center. And you can stretch the legs forward. And having your 2 bricks ready, so one you sit on for Adho Mukha Virasana, and the other for the head. Right, so sitting in Virasana, in the hero pose, with the knees together, feet by the sides of the blocks, and then being even on both sit bones. So just feel that you're even on both sit bones, and maybe not, maybe one is a little bit twisted, so just see how it is. And then from there, as you lengthen forward through the front body, begin to come forward, walking the hands forward, but keeping the buttocks down. And then whatever height you need for your head, bring your head down onto it. Yeah, going lower and lower if you can, but trying to keep the buttocks down. And breathing. And then from there, prepare to come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, into the dog pose. So take your hands apart slightly, spread all the fingers evenly, and press the mounds of the fingers down, especially of the index fingers. Then tuck your toes under. And take your buttocks back first, and then from there start to come up by lifting the buttocks high. So as you press the hands down from there, see how you can lift. And just breathe and stay, lengthening the sides. So see how the movement comes by the pressure of the hands down, but especially the inner hands. You don't want to have any pain in the wrists. So pressing the mounds of the index fingers down. I didn't see your name, so that's Bernie. Yeah, Stuart was telling me you were joining us. So welcome. Yeah, welcome. All right, and then from there, walk your hands back towards your feet, coming to Uttanasana. And you could start here, so you could have your hands on some bricks to press the hands down and lengthen through the front body. Yeah. And then, so what I wanted you to try is to go down lower, and then with your hands, with your fingers, kind of cradle the back of the head and pull it down a little bit more. But this can really only happen once you're down quite low. Otherwise, it won't make a lot of sense. Yeah, so what you are doing there is lengthening the back of the neck, encouraging the head to go down more, and it's a good preparation for headstand. Yeah. This is, in headstand, the neck has to be really long. All right, then you can release. And we're going to go back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. But I wonder, could you do it on the tips of your fingers? Don't overdo it. So just, this is a good way to strengthen the fingers, the tips of the fingers, yeah, the whole fingers. And this is a good practice for this pose, but especially for handstand, when there is more pressure on the hand so that you don't get pain in your wrist. So be on the tips of the fingers, and then you're going to just slowly come up. And then see how much weight you can bear on the fingers. Yeah. So you may not stay there very long, and just see. Try to be on the tips of the fingers, not having the fingers flat, the first part, but really trying to claw the fingers. And just breathe through it. Don't break any fingers there. And then from there, can you bring your hands down, flat? And just feel what has changed. So see how there is more awareness now towards the tips of the fingers. So you bring more weight there. Yeah. So there's more aliveness in the tips of the fingers. Can you keep pressing them down slightly? So there is a kind of this sucking up action in the palms of the hands. There's like an arch in the hands. And it affects the whole lift of the spine. All right, then from there you can bend the knees and come down. And we're going to just lie on the back for a moment. Have one block, the bigger one if you have one of those. And so first, as you lie down, you're going to have it widthways under the buttocks. Yeah, and it's just encouraging the tailbone to go into the body, so it's not sticking out. And then straighten the legs, making them firm, and arms up, dropping the upper arms into the shoulder joints, as you know, as you bring your arms overhead, making yourself as tall as you can be. The second time we do that, you're gonna have the block. I'll show you that out. First do this one. Yeah, so block underneath the buttocks or something. If you don't have a block, Bernie, have a book or something. Yeah. And then straighten the legs. Extend through the heels. Make your legs firm. And then arms up, dropping the upper arm bones deep into the shoulder joints, and then bringing the arms overhead. And see what that does. See how the pelvis moves posteriorly. The tailbone moves into the body as you do this. So it's a good postural exercise. All right, then bring your arms back up and back to your side. And this, we'll do one more like this, but this time, so you're gonna have the block. You look at me just here. Yeah, underneath, just hitching the lower tips of the shoulder blades. Don't have it too high or too low, just there. So the top is just hitching the lower tips of the shoulder blades. it's kind of just under the armpits where the top of the block is. Yeah, and then stretching the legs, arms up, and overhead, extending through the tips of the fingers. And also the remembering how what happened a moment ago with the tailbone when you had the block under your sacrum, how the tailbone was moving into the body. And be as tall as you can be, reaching through the tips of the fingers, at the same time reaching through the heels. There's still aliveness in the tips of the fingers, hopefully. And then bring your arms back up and back to your sides. And you can take that block away. And we are going to do the leg raising. So let's do it this way. So just an open belt around the feet to start. So this is your starting position. You know this, we've done this many times. So finding where you are in 90-degree angle with the legs. Giving yourself a moment there, then taking the left leg out first, taking it down straight. And you can encourage this leg to come closer to you, but the thigh moves away from it. All right, then the other side. Then the first side. And then the right leg goes out to the side, pressing your left hand down on the thigh. And then the same with the other leg. And lastly, pushing the thighs away, extending through the heels and trying to bring your feet closer to you. Keeping the sacrum down. I'll talk you through it. So make sure to have enough space. Sorry, I'm not actually taking the arms over. So lifting both legs up first. Put your belt around both feet. And just give yourself a moment to really allow the femur bones, the thigh bones to descend deep into the hip joints, into the hip sockets. Yes, at the moment, if the sacrum is slightly lifted, just allow it to sink down so that you are flat on the sacrum, yeah, on the very low of the back. And it takes a while to kind of get that. So just stay there for a little longer. And then, okay, then from there, you can take your left foot out of the belt. Keep extending through the heel. Keep the leg straight as it goes all the way down. Extending through the heel. And both thighs are moving away from you. Both legs are straight. Both legs straight. Extend through both heels. If the leg is straight, then see if, well, first of all of you need to push the thighs away more so that you really open the back of the knee. And I was going to say to take the foot a little closer to your head, but only if the leg is straight. If it's not straight, then it's not going anywhere. Thighs away, heels extending, and then the leg goes closer. All right, then let it go back again and lift your left leg back up. Put your belt around both feet. Again, allowing the sacrum to drop down to the floor. Taking the right foot out of the belt. Extend through the heel as it goes all the way down straight. Focus straight, don't bend the knee. Lengthen, extend through both heels. Thighs move away. And if you can, if there is extra movement, you can, with the thigh away, up through the heel, can the leg go a little closer. It may not happen, just if you're ready for that. All right, then take your foot back slightly and lift your right leg back up. Put your belt around both feet. sacrum down flat. Now one more time, take your left leg out of the belt. Reach through the heel as you take it all the way down. One more time. And now hold the belt with your right hand, both ends with the right hand. Place your left hand on the thigh. And as you exhale, take your right leg to the side. Extend through the heel. And see how far you go without tilting to the side. So you're not, the pelvis is still leveled on the floor. You're still leveled on both sides of the sacrum. And then lift the leg back up. In your next breath in, lift your left leg back up straight. Keep it straight with your belt on both feet. And again, allowing the sacrum to drop down first. Then take your right leg out of the belt, extending through the heel as it goes all the way down. Reaching through the heel, taking both thighs away from you. And then from there, so holding the belt with your left hand, and as you exhale, take your left leg out to the side. But keeping the right thigh down. And see how far you go, opening that left groin, so that's where you are feeling it. Hopefully. And then as you inhale, take your leg back up. On your next breath in, take your other leg up. So your right leg straight, put your belt around both feet. So moving the thighs, think of pushing the thighs away. Extend more through the heels, and then just for fun, see if you can bring your feet a little closer to your head without lifting the buttocks, without bending the knees. Just a little. You're reaching up with the hands more and more towards your feet, keeping the sacrum down flat still. And it may not happen much, just a little movement is good enough. As long as the thighs move away and the heels are extending, then it will happen. All right, and then you can let the legs go back and you can bend your knees, come down, roll to your side, and come into Adho Mukha Svanasana again, into dog pose. Yeah, dog pose. But remembering, so is there still aliveness in the tips of the fingers? Yeah, so slightly, even if you slightly claw the hands to start with, just to remind you. And then lifting from there, lengthening the sides of the body, lifting the buttocks high. And then make your legs firm, pull up the knees, push the thighs back, like we just did when we were doing the leg raises, thighs moving back. And just see how the legs feel. They hopefully feel different. More extended, more willing, let's say. Lifting the heels up slightly. Lengthen the soles of the feet from the toes towards the heels. And then think of taking the outer heels down while pushing the thighs back, outer heels down. And do that a couple of times. Then again, lifting the heels up and pushing the thighs back, lengthening the soles of the feet and the heels, the outer heels down. And are you still slightly pressing the tips of the fingers down so that there are arches in the palms of the hands? All right, and from there, walk your hands back to your feet through Uttanasana. And as you walk your hands back, you're opening the backs of the legs more and more. And then you can come up to standing. So, having your two legs ready, so you're just going to do few things. Standing up. for the shoulders. So first, you've got your 2 bricks. I don't know if you can see me, maybe not, but I should even be here. So you're standing close to the wall. You're going to reach up, so you put your hands flat on the bricks and then pushing them up while pressing against the bricks. Just to open the armpits. So stand close to the wall, so you don't do a kind of a banana shape. So you want to be straight. And so reaching up as high as you can. So you don't want to be slanting, you want to be with your feet nearly touching the wall. And pressing the hands against the bricks, opening the armpits. Breathe. All right, and then you can release. And now, so have the brick like so. You're going to do the gomka, so you've done this before. So you've got your elbow on the brick, you're facing the wall, and then you're sliding the upper arm up, yeah, facing the wall, and then stretching the other arm out, arm back, and then trying to hold the fingers. If you know that that's difficult for you, then you can have a belt hanging on the right shoulder. Yeah, just an open belt on the right shoulder and catch the belt if you can't reach. Okay, let's try. So the brick is on its narrower edge, lengthwise, and trying to reach up through the elbow, through your right elbow as much as you can. And then trying to stretching your left arm out first and then behind your back and catching either the fingers or the belt. And breathing. See that you pull evenly with the fingers. The bottom one pulls at the top one as well as the other way around. All right, then you can release as you breathe out. Take your left arm down first, then catch hold of the brick and have the belt on the other shoulder if you need one. You might find one side is easier than the other. All right, so take your left elbow on that brick and reach up through that elbow first. So first you want to get that land in your upper left arm, reaching up through the elbow. Then stretch your right arm out, turn your palm back. So reaching first out, then take your arm around the back and see how this side is. And see that the body is not twisting, that you are turning to the wall evenly with both hips. All right, and then as you breathe out, you can release. Okay, now this is kind of something that you're not familiar with. So have a look. So you're going to stand maybe about a foot away from the wall, taking the hands up the wall and a little bit further apart than the shoulders. And then you want to reach you want to take the armpits to the wall so that the forehead goes to the wall, but the sternum moves away. Yeah, so I might want to stand a little bit further away from the wall. And then, but making sure you're not overarching the lower back. So you want to feel that this in the upper back. Yeah, so the tailbone has to come into the body. Yeah, so you're not sticking your bum back. And then if you can do a little bit more, you can step your feet back. And again, so reaching through the tips of the fingers, taking the forehead to the wall. And then it's the sternum bone moves away from the wall. The armpits move towards the wall. Okay, we'll try. So have the hands slightly wider than the shoulders, so giving yourself some space there. And the feet are about a foot away from the wall to start. But the buttocks are away from the wall. See? And so think of taking the armpit towards the wall, but the sternum, your breastbone, away from the wall. The buttocks might need to go back a little more. Marianne, buttocks away from the wall. And then can you bring your forehead to the wall? So you're getting, so the extension is felt in the upper back and the shoulders. The upper back, your thoracic spine, and your shoulders are opening. So see if you can give yourself a moment there to kind of get that, to make it yours. And then, so if you can, if you want to challenge yourself, you can step your feet back a little bit more. And if this is enough, then this is enough. All right, and then you can step forward and come up and release. Now have a belt. And you need a loop. So you're going to work a little more on the shoulders and on the posture. If you can manage, so the belt is a bit wider than the shoulders, so it's quite wide, because I want to do it twice. So I put it on my arms and then just wrap it around one more time. So it's like this. Making sense? Show you one more time. So it's a bit wide, it's maybe a little too wide for me. And then just wrapping it around each elbow one more time. So then you have good firmness there. Yeah, so it's, then you're gonna be pushing against it. From there, so have a look first. You're going to, you've done this before. Taking the feet away from the wall, back body's at the wall, and then you're sitting as if you're sitting on a chair. In here, you press the heels down and you're trying to lift from the lower abdomen. So your lower back is not falling away from the wall. And then from there, stretching the arms forward, pushing out against the belt as you stretch the arms all the way up or as much as you can. And then from there, can you slowly straighten the legs without losing that. Yeah, then maybe you step in the feet back a little bit, but without overarching the back. Yeah, without doing banana, which is my, that's what my body tends to do as well. You try, so bend to your knees. Have you got the belt? In some way. So bend to your knees as if you want to sit on a chair. Don't take your arms up yet. Take them by your side. Bend to your knees and sit. Make sure your knees are in line with your ankles. You wait for Marianne. You okay? No pressure. Sitting down and keep the back body at the wall. So even the head, the shoulders need to be at the wall. And as you press your feet down, heels down especially, see how that lifts the lower abdomen. So there's a lift there all the way from the bottom of the pelvic floor. Then from there, stretch the arms forward, push out against that belt, and stretch the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Pushing out against the belt, and see what that does for you. And see if you can bring your thumbs to the wall. Can you bring the thumbs to the wall? Yeah, and that might not happen yet if the shoulders are stiff, but that's the direction. And then slowly see if you can keep the back body at the wall, keep the lower back at the wall, especially as you begin to straighten the legs, keep the upper body at the wall as you straighten. Keep the thumbs going to the wall. And can you slowly take a little step back with your feet without overarching the back, without taking the thumbs away from the wall? It's not as easy as it looks. And then as you breathe out, you can take your arms back down. Keep your belts. And we're going to do the tree pose. In this way, so you can do it with the belt. Beneficial. So with your right leg close to the wall first, with your feet together, you're going to lift your right leg up, holding the ankle, pressing the knee against the wall, and then stretching the arms forward like you just did, pushing against the belt as you stretch the arms. But with that same feeling of lifting the floating ribs and not overarching the back as you do this. So it's the same action in the back. Yeah. Go for it. All right, so with the feet together, lifting your right leg up first. Hold the ankle, press the knee against the wall and the foot high up against the opposite thigh. As you put the knee against the wall, you see how that engages the buttock. And then stretch the arms forward, pushing out against the belt. And as you inhale, stretch the arms up. So as you lift the arms up, really, really well, all the way through the tips of the fingers. But see that the floating ribs are not collapsing forward. Yeah, you're not doing a back arch. Breathing. And as you exhale, you can release the arms. Keep your belt as you turn around to the other side. Yeah. So feet together, lifting your left foot up. Press it high up against the opposite thigh and also the thigh against the foot. Push the knee against the wall. And then on your breath in, stretch the arms forward and up to the ceiling when you're ready. Pushing out against the belt as you do this all the time. Extend all the way through the tips of the fingers. Is there still aliveness in the tips of the fingers? And as you exhale, then you can release the arms back down and take your foot down. You can now take your belt off. And we are going to work on one standing pose, one more. And that is Parshvakonasana, because it gives you that same side body stretch. Have your 2 breaks, or whatever, some height, for the left foot at the wall. And then, so you're going to take your left foot on, so that's your back leg first, on the 2 bricks, with the toes hanging forward of the brick. Okay. And then stepping the other foot away from the wall, turning the right toes out and the heel in, so turning the whole front leg. and then stretching the arms out. And with the breath out and bending the right knee, making a right angle as much as possible, taking the hand down in front of the foot. Yeah, turning, lengthening, top shoulder back, and then if you can bring the arm over. So that side, yeah, the left side of the body is a straight line. So it's very similar to what you have just done in the tree pose. Actually, when you look at it like that. If you're already there, you'll be there longer, Liam. Just that I was showing you first. All right, so can we all do it together? Because Marian, yeah, okay, so your left foot is on the bricks. Step the right foot out well. Turn your toes out and the heel in. And really feel that turn in the top right thigh. Yeah, from the inside to the outside of the thigh. Then take your arms out to the sides. From the center of the chest, lengthen, extend from the center of the chest. And then as you exhale, bend your right knee. Bend the right, it's not Trikonasana, it's Parsvakonasana. So you're bending the knee, trying to make a right angle. And then you're taking the right hand in front of the foot. And this time, because the back foot is higher, you will be able to hopefully reach the floor. But you've got to bend more in the hip. Yeah, so the front leg is making a right angle. Now, so there is a straight line from the left heel all the way. And then see if you can, yeah, so first turning, abdomen, chest is turning up, top shoulder back, and then stretching the top arm up, rotate towards the head and bring it overhead if you can. If it's falling forward too much, then that's too much, Marianne, just keep it on the hip. And can you feel that straight line? Can you feel the connection to the back heel? Like this with the raise for the back heel. All right, and then you can come up. Take your foot down, turn around to the second side. So now having the right foot on your bricks, step your left foot away from the right foot. Turn your left toes out and the heel in well. So you're turning the whole leg in the hip socket. And then stretch the arms out to the sides from the center of the chest. And as you exhale, bend your left knee. And go down low in the hip, lower than you think. As you exhale, take your hand down in front of the foot. You can be on the tips of the fingers. And press the back heel against the wall. And can you turn? Then from there, turning the hips above each other. Turning the abdomen, turning the chest up, top shoulder back. And then rotate the upper arm towards the head and bring it over. Upper arm towards the head and take it overhead. If you can. Palm faces down, Doni. Palm faces down towards the head, towards the ear. Palm, turn it to face down. Yeah. And stretch all the way through the tips of the fingers from the back heel, breathing. All right, and then as you inhale, you can come back up. Step down. We will do this one more time, but we will do it without the blocks. And I just want to see. So this is teaching you your connection to the back heel, because that's pretty much 90% of that pose. Yeah. So we will do it one more time. This time you can just use the ball, but not the bricks. And you can have brick now for the front hand. It will be behind the foot in the classical way, right? Right. So let's do this together then. So have the left foot against the wall. The heel pushes against the wall to activate the line. Turn the front leg from the inside to the outside. stretch the arms out to the sides from the center of the chest. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, then bending the right knee, making a right angle. And as you exhale, take your right hand down to your brick behind you. You can take your top hand to your hip. Push the back heel against the wall and turn the hips, turn the abdomen, turn the chest up. Push the knee against the elbow. Don't let it fall forwards. Breathe. And then if you can, stretch the arm up. And if you still can, rotate the upper arm towards the head and then bring it over. So see, there is a straight line. When you look at me, there is a straight line from the heel all the way through the tips of the fingers. If you can see yourself on the screen, can you also see a straight line? Not if you have a side, if you have a front view, you won't be able to see it. All right, and then come back up. Turn your feet forward and turn around to the second side. Take your feet wide, lift in the right heel, slide it down the wall. Take your feet well away from each other, turning the left toes out and the heel in and turning well in the hip socket. And as you exhale, bending, so bend your left knee, stretch the arms out, bend your left knee, upper body stays upright first. Back leg is firm, push the heel against the wall. As you exhale, take your left hand down to the brick behind your foot. And you can take your top hand to your top hip. And as you do that, so as you press the back heel against the wall, then turn the pelvis, turn your hips over each other, turn the abdomen to look up, turn the chest to look up from the bottom, turn the top shoulder back. And then once you are ready, stretch the arm up, rotate the upper arm towards the head and bring it overhead if you can. And breathe. All right, and then as you inhale, you can come back up. Turn your feet forward, move them together. So now we are going to do Prasarita Padottanasana. So you can have your two bricks in front of you. Do it with me. So taking the feet wide apart, keep the heels on the back edge of the mat, with the outer edges of the feet parallel to one another. Navel, chest is lifting, shoulders back. Yeah, lengthening through the front as if you're making a back bend. Concave in the upper back, and then from the hips coming forward, leading with the chest, taking the hands down to your bricks. Yeah, as you press down, lift the chest. And then first getting the length through the spine by reaching forward, reaching the bricks forward. And the arms. And just check that the back is straight. So again, you're getting that length along the sides of the body, which is what we are working on today. And then if you can, bring your hands underneath the shoulders to the floor, you can do that. If you want to go, if you can go to the full pose, then hands go in line with your feet, looking up at the chest, and then taking the head down to the floor. If you can't reach the floor, then you can have something underneath the head. And just stay there for a few moments. It's a resting pose. All right, then from there, straighten the arms, take your hands forward underneath the shoulders, look up with the chest, and come back up to standing. Take your hands to your hips and come up. Okay, so now are you ready to be upside down for a little bit? We are going to do the L shape first, yeah, because that makes you strong for handstand. So you're gonna have your feet at the wall first to measure your distance, taking the hand behind the buttock. Yes, that's where, and then keeping that hand there as you turn around. And have your fingers turned out. And remember, so now it's important that you kind of claw the fingers a little bit. Yeah, so you have some weight down through the tips of the fingers. And then lifting the buttocks, stepping the feet up the wall first, and then walking down, making an L shape. All right. When you come down, just rest. All right, so let's measure the distance. And take your hand. I can't see you, Bernie. I don't know if you're still with me. Okay, cool. And okay, so once you've measured your distance, make sure that your fingers are turning out slightly. And then begin to carefully lift your feet up the wall. Make sure that you are also lifting the buttocks. So you're not kind of caving in like a banana shape, yeah? And then from there, as you walk your feet down bit by bit, making an L shape. So feet down, lower if you can. And the lower the feet go, no, Liam, you have to lift the buttocks. No, buttocks have to lift. But yeah, that's it. Shoulders go to the wall, shoulders to the wall, buttocks away from the wall. That's the one. Yeah, and then your feet go down low. That's it. With your hands, I can't see them, but they're not turning out. Yeah. And then so lifting the buttocks. Okay, resting. Next time you do it, I want your hands to be more that way. So close, yours were like this. Take them closer, but fingers out more. So there's more of a rotation in the shoulders, okay? So let's try just one more time. So this makes you strong. Yeah, this will make you strong for other things. It's actually harder on the strength. It's harder than actual handstand. All right, so walk your feet down then. Lift the buttocks high. And press the heels against the wall and lift the buttocks, lift the thighs up. Okay, and then come down and have a little rest then. Okay, so now we got a chair. So get your chair. I would like you to do this one. We do this often. It's so important. So having a break on the elbows are on the seat of the chair with the out elbows pressing down, forearms up, fingers pointing up, and then walking the feet back, walking the knees back until the knees are just underneath the hips. And there is a straight line from the elbows all the way back to the buttocks. It's a nice way to prepare for headstand, among other things. Lengthening your triceps, releasing the shoulders. So if you have something to put between the hands, Bernie, then that would, or even press the tips of the fingers against each other. The palms are not touching. Yeah, like taking the wrist away more. So the more that it becomes more challenging. Yeah. So Marianne, have you done it? So you're on the floor with the elbows. You didn't see what I was doing? Okay, then release. And I would like you to try this also. So you're gonna sit in front of the chair. Before you're going to take your feet forward in front of you, but before you do that, taking the hands on the seat of the chair, catching hold of the back of the seat of the chair, and then taking the buttocks down and stretching the legs forward. So this is kind of a good movement for shoulder stand. Yeah. And then you want to go from here, if you are caving in, opening the chest, taking the shoulders back. Okay. Let's try this. Be careful to start, because don't pull the arms too much. So we'd start like this, kind of squatting, and then slowly taking the legs forward. Okay. All right, and then look forward, don't look down, and see how much you can open the chest, how much you can release the shoulders. All right, and then you can slowly release. So you can bend your knees again and carefully release the hands. Okay, so let's try. Headstand, but you don't have to go into it. You don't have to go upside down, but we're just gonna try the position. And we're gonna do it with the chair, so that the chair is teaching you how the shoulders have to. So if you have the yoga chair, that needs to be tied at the back, because otherwise it will start to close on you. So just put the belt around the back and one of the bars that go across, like this. Keep the chair from closing. If you have other chair, then this won't be an issue. And then also I suggest a blanket. So from this shape, we fold it kind of, it's called three-folded blanket. So this, this, and this, 3 times. Yeah, so you've got 3 folds. And then that is for your head, and that will help you to lift the shoulders. You start, so I'm just gonna show you here. You start with the hand, the elbows are shoulder width. Yeah, so you're gonna have your forearms on the floor, your elbows on the floor. You lift your forearms and you just check that the elbows are in line when you're there. I'm just showing you now so that you can see me. And start with the palms facing up, because when the palms face up, there is good rotation in the shoulders. What you don't want is that. Yeah, you want that rotation. And then you interlock the fingers all the way, like so. Yeah. So that's the shape of the hands. And then the head sits in it, like so. So I'm showing you this sitting. You can do it with me. Then we are going to do it with the head on the floor. Yeah. The elbows are shoulder width apart. They're not too wide, not too narrow, but roughly there. And like we did at the start, you really want to make sure that the back of the neck is lengthening, so it's not this. Yeah, it has to lengthen there. Now what? So you're gonna have, so starting, like I said, with the palms up, and your hands are underneath the chair. Yeah. Then interlocking the fingers, and the blanket is just sitting in your palms. It's not going over. Then You're going to lift the knees, walk your feet forward, placing the crown of the head down. And already I'm feeling that I'm on the chair already. The chair is digging into me, and that's a good thing. Yeah, because that's lifting the shoulders for you. And then if you can, then lifting one leg and then the other. But even if you can't do that, if you just do that much, it's beneficial. Yeah, to learn the lift of the shoulders. So let's just give it a go. So it needs to be folded one more time. Liam, make it narrower, that blanket. So it's really important how you place your arms. So take your forearms down with your elbows shoulder width. And then, so noticing already that rotation in the shoulders from inside out. And then from there, you can interlock the fingers. Yeah, on the floor, interlock the fingers well. And press the wrists down. As you press the wrists down, can you feel there's a lift in the shoulders? And then from there, you can start lifting the knees up, the buttocks up. Without don't place the head down yet, but lift the buttocks first. So you get more of that lift in the shoulders. And then as you walk your feet forward, lifting the buttocks higher and higher, place the crown of the head down in your hands. Place and see that you're on the crown of the head, not the forehead. No kicking, no mad kicking there. And then from walking the feet forward, feel chest, chair pushing against you. That's a good thing. And if you have stiff upper back, you may not be able to come up like this, but just learn that lift in the shoulders. Just feel that. Yeah, and then lifting one leg. See, Liam, if you can come up. I can't see you from the side, but if you're positioned well in a straight line, then you'll be able to go up into headstand. The more you can walk your feet towards the chair, the easier it will be to go into it. If your head is a little too far underneath the chair, then it's going to be difficult to lift up. Yeah, that's it. Now make sure that you're not leaning towards the chair, but the chair is pushing you slightly. Yeah, so that you are getting that lift in the thoracic spine, in the upper back. And lift up through the heels, the inner heels. Well, you okay? All right, and then we move on. Okay, one more thing. So I was gonna do the classical shoulder stand, but we don't really have time for it. We'll just do a restful one with the chair. Yeah? Resting shoulder stand to finish with. If you, I don't know about that chair, Bernie, whether you'll be able to do it, but if not, you can just take legs up the wall. Yeah? I'll show you what this looks like. So, using a rolled up mat on top of the chair. Here, right on the edge. And then I have a bolster for my shoulders. And then I have a blanket for the top of the chair so that the legs are comfortable. That's just for a bit of softness. And then you sit on the chair with the legs wide. And you want to sit in front of your roll first. Then you take your legs up over the top of the chair. And this is what hooks you here. And then you go back. Your shoulders end up on the bolster. Arms to the inside. And then holding, if you've got those two bars there with the palms up, or also the side. Good enough. After this, we also do Viparita Karani, taking the legs up. And to come out, you're going to take your feet to the top of the chair, taking the arms out, and then sliding back. Resting. Okay? Go for it. So Bernie, how are you with that one? If you want to do something else, you can just do legs up the wall, maybe. Do you want to give it a try? I don't know what that chair is like, whether it's stable or not. So it's just use common sense and it's on you. Right, yeah, so the legs need to go over the top of the chair. Marianne, that bolster is too far away from you. It needs to be in line with the legs of the chair. Yeah, and you hook yourself, you're too close to the wall, you have no space. And Liam, so you're there, good. Just straighten the legs though. Legs are straight. Feet are about hip width. No, over the back of the chair, but straight. Extend through your heels, yeah. And just breathe, be with the breath. Are you on the floor or on the floor, are you? Bernie, I can't see. On the chair, Ivy? Oh, you are on the chair, okay. Yeah, I don't know, I can't I can't help you from here. I don't know what that chair is like. I have no idea what's happening there. I can't see you either. But, Marianne, and now from there, you need to come out more until the shoulders reach the bolster. So let yourself, now that rolled mat though needs to be right on the edge. It's not on the edge, it's a bit too far in. That's the problem, because that's gonna be digging, the chair's now gonna be digging into you. You have to come up, readjust that mat. Yeah, make it, the mat needs to be on the edge of the chair. It's not on the edge, it's gonna dig into you. Come up and start again. It's it's well worth learning this properly, and you can do it on your own. It's a really nice pose to do on your own. So, okay, Bernie, so you leave this one out with that chair because that's a bit too dodgy, but you can just do, you can do legs up the wall. If you have something like a bolster or a blanket, you can use that instead of the bolster. Marianne, and then you need to bring the shoulders down to the bolster. You need to move yourself out until the shoulders reach the bolster. And Bernie, so it's sideways at the wall. And then taking the legs up the wall as you go down. And try to break those so that your buttocks are all the way to the wall. Feet are hip width apart. And arms to the sides. Yeah, so you have a little bit of upside down there also. Now, so Liam Viparita Karani. Marianne froze on me, so I don't know what. Okay. Okay, legs up the wall, that's good enough. Now, yeah, so lean legs up towards the ceiling into Viparita Karani. Up a little higher. That's it. All right, and then you can bring your legs over the back of the chair once more. Talking to them now. And then bend your knees, take your feet to the top of the chair. Feet to the top of the chair. And then you can take your arms out, they're already out, and then slide back and come down. And so we are ready for Shavasana, for relaxation. If you are comfortable at the wall with the legs up, you can stay there. Or if you want to lie down flat, you can just push yourself away and just come down and lie down flat. So I leave that up to you. Just make sure that you are straight, in a straight line, that you are comfortable. And start to let go. So just check that you're on the very center of the back of the head. Chin is down lower than the forehead. Tucking the shoulders under really well. Palms are looking up at the ceiling. And just let go. There's nothing more to do. There's nothing left undone. Relax the face and all the facial muscles. Widen the space between the eyebrows. Soften the eyelids. Let the eyes drop down away from the eyelids, as if you had eyes at the back of the head, looking out through the darkness of the skull. Relax the jaw, the tongue, the throat. Feel the contact you have between the back body and the floor. From head to feet and feet to head. Feel all the touch points between the back body and the floor. The whole plane of the body on the floor at once. With the breath out, softening the abdomen and let it fall down towards the back, like a soft parachute falling down towards the earth. As you exhale, softening the whole front body, let it fall down towards the back body. Surrender more and more with each next breath out. Until you surrender completely. When I am silent, I fall into the place where everything is music. This is by Rumi. When I am silent, I fall into the place where everything is music. And with this, I'm gonna say good night. Have a wonderful week, and I shall see you next week. Good night, everybody.